Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about putting yourself first. And if you do that, then women will actually come to you. So what does it then mean then to put yourself first? So in my mind, what that means is that you need to be focusing on your life, the things that you're trying to achieve in this life, focusing on your mission, focusing on basically what the goals that you have for yourself and your own life, right? Rather than focusing so much on your love life, on romance, on dating, right? And trying to get laid, whatever it may be. Okay, that you're more likely to attract women into your life, right? If you're not focusing on them, if you're not focusing on romance. And I've seen this happen all the time. I even noticed it with myself, okay? Like sometimes, you just have enough, right? You're like, okay, well, I'm just going to take a break from dating. I'm going to take a break from finding romance. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to focus on my own thing for a while, do my own thing, focus on myself, work on my goals, work on my dreams, try and create a more fulfilling life for myself. And I'm just going to put romance to the side for now because for whatever reason I'm getting frustrated with it, whatever it may be. And I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to focus on me. I'm just going to do me, basically, right? And what tends to happen when you start doing that and you really commit to that, more women tend to show up in your life. You tend to get more matches on, your dating apps and things like that. It's almost like they know somehow. The collective consciousness of women know that, oh, that guy doesn't care anymore, right? I'm going to go and try and find him, right? It's so weird. But I remember it happening with me. Like when I met my wife, I was really in a stage where I wasn't really looking for anyone 100%. I was a little bit, I was sort of like just seeing where things go. But it wasn't my main primary focus. My main primary focus when I met her, which was when I was about 25, was making money. Like I was more focused on like how can I get more money? Like I was more focused on that. I wasn't focused on how can I get laid, how can I get a relationship, how can I find romance. It was just one of those things that I was doing sort of like part-time. It wasn't like my full-time sort of like main focus. And that's one of the amazing things about that, right? Is that you can potentially meet the person you're supposed to be with for the rest of your life when you start letting go emotionally of trying to get laid, trying to find romance, getting really hung up on relationships, getting really hung up on different women that have rejected you or dumped you, things like that. Okay, so ideally you need to focus more on yourself. So it's a good idea to create some goals for yourself. Create some things that you would really love to have in your life. It could be a certain lifestyle. It could be maybe you just like a certain kind of car to have, and that maybe that'll be your focus for a while. It could be that you want to be in a different kind of career, or you want to start your own side business that you would like to make your full-term thing, so you can work from home. You no longer have to go and commute or do your 9 to 5, whatever it may be. So it's a good idea to create some goals for yourself of what you would actually ultimately like to do, right? And also maybe you might want to focus on exercise and taking care of your body and things like that too. Okay, well, it's always a good idea to be focusing on that. That should be one of your primary focuses, right? Having good nutrition, being able to exercise regularly is really, really important. So that's ultimately, right, what you need to find. You need to find some goals that are really compelling to you, right? Things that you find that really stir your soul, basically, that make you feel inspired, right? If you find a goal and you feel really inspired by that goal, and you feel really ambitious and you really want to work towards it, then that's a good sign that that's something that you should be doing and you should be focusing on, right? So it's always a good idea to have goals that actually pull you to doing them instead of goals that maybe your family have had for you, that your parents want for you, that your friends think that you should be doing. You got to go by the beat of your own drum. And women love that too. Like if you're trying to manipulate reality, basically, I guess you could say, and you're trying to create your own reality for yourself, right? You're like, okay, yeah, I want to be living this kind of lifestyle. I want to be driving this kind of car. I want to have this kind of body. I want to have this kind of business for myself. And I'm going to make this a reality. I'm going to make this come true. I'm going to take action, come into my personal power, right? And I'm going to make this happen. Women love guys that are like that, right? Especially if you're really focusing on that and you become less focused on women. Because sometimes if you become too focused on women, if you become too focused on trying to get laid and things like that, you're getting too focused on different women, getting really hung up on them and getting really emotionally attached to them, even if they're not really showing that much interest in you, when you do things like that, it makes you become more needy, right? And makes you insecure, because if things aren't working out for you, right, in the romance department, then obviously things are not working out for you. So you probably feel quite needy, you feel quite insecure when it comes to women, when it comes to dating, when it comes to relationships, okay? So if you're feeling that insecurity, then women are going to be able to smell that on you, basically, right? And they're going to be rejecting you left, right, and center. You need to become more confident in yourself, okay? And one of the best ways that you can do that is by taking action, by trying to create a better life for yourself and not focusing so much on women anymore and that the whole romance side of your life. And becoming so attached to it, because when you become attached to it, you become attached to an outcome, you become needy, and it just doesn't work out usually, because you are making mistakes as well. Because if you are so desperate for a relationship, or you're desperate to get laid, right, you're going to make mistakes, right? When you're talking to women, the way that you come across, because you've got a goal there. You're like, I need to lock her down to a relationship, or I need to sleep with her, right? If those are your goals, right, and that's your main goal in life, basically, you're gonna end up making mistakes. You're gonna text her one night when you're feeling lonely, gonna come across really needy. You might even do something like write a long message of how much you like her and stuff like that, and start to come on too strong too soon, basically, okay? But it's so much better when you can just let go and you don't mind as much, right? When you let go, you can be more yourself. You can be more confident, because you're not trying to make something happen. You're not trying to force anything to happen, because you're needy, because that's what needy people do. They force things. They try and make things happen like that, you see. Right? They try and make things happen. They don't allow things to go by their own time. They become extremely needy and insecure about those things. Right? So you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that ever with women. You want to become secure in yourself, right? And not mind if things don't work out, right? So let's say you go out on a date. The best attitude to have is like, okay, we'll just see where things go. You know, if this ends up to be a relationship, that's great. If it ends up to just be a hookup, then maybe that's great, maybe not. I don't know. It depends how you feel about hookups. Or, you know, if it doesn't work out, that's also great, because, you know, I'm not in any rush. Okay, and the advantage of being a guy, right, is that you don't really need to rush. Because, yeah, you may want family, you may want kids, but luckily for guys is that your body clock, right, you know, you're going to still be producing healthy sperm for a long time, basically. Whereas with women, they have more of we have more of a time frame of when we can start having kids and having families and things like that. But the good news for you is that you can take your time. Time is on your side, especially if you do want kids. If you don't want kids, then obviously that doesn't really matter. But ultimately, you shouldn't be in such a rush, okay? It's usually as well the guys who are really, like the young guys, like the teenage boys and teenage guy and young adults, male young adults, they get really focused on if they haven't lost their virginity, and they get really focused on that, and they really start to become really needy about that. And it's usually those guys who are really worried about their being a virgin that end up being a virgin for much longer. And it's usually the guys that don't really care about being a virgin that lose their virginity much sooner, right? Because it doesn't affect them. They're not bothered as much. But the guys who are really bothered by it, they're really bothered by being a virgin, stay virgins for much, much longer, right? Because they're becoming more needy. They could become more desperate for women, and women don't like that. Women can smell that a mile off, right? So they feel more repelled. And obviously if someone's desperate and needy, then they're going to be acting in a sort of like desperate, needy way, which is very unattractive. Women are more attracted to men who are unaffected by them. Okay, that's the kind of man, like if you don't mind what she does, it doesn't matter how she speaks to you, it doesn't matter how she behaves, right? If you don't care what she does, basically, and you're still going to be you, and you're still going to be the same person, you're going to be still the same guy no matter what she does, she's more likely to respond better to you rather than a guy who gets affected by everything she does, and it makes or breaks his day if she messages him or says something mean to him. It can make him really sad for ages, or she ghosts him for whatever reason, and that can really upset him for a long time. So it's always best to be detached and to work on other things for a while. Work on your goals, work on your dreams, try and make a reality that you're proud of, and go by the beat of your own drum for a while, and trying to create a life for yourself that is really fulfilling and happy, right? Because when you do that and you're focusing more on that, that's oddly when more women start to show up in your life. It's almost like they can smell the detachment, right? which is very attractive for them. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.ChristineLoveridge.com. I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.